Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah. Good morning, all. Dear Shamant and all the students and my faculty friends. I'm happy that our faculty Namita and Johar has organized this webinar on recent trends in computer graphics and visualization as part of the VTU curriculum. I thank Shamant, is the proud alumni of our department, for accepting our invitation and agreed for delivering a talk on recent trends in computer graphics and visualization. Thank you, Shamant. Thank you very much. I
Thank you, ma'am.
request, uh, I request all the participants to make use of this opportunity. Thank you. I congratulate the coordinators Namita and Johar. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Shamant to start with the webinar. Over to you, Shamant.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thanks for this opportunity. So I'll be sharing my knowledge of computer graphics today. Is everyone able to hear me, right? If you have faced any issues hearing me, just let me know.
We are audible, Lakshmi.
Okay. Yeah, is the screen visible?
Yeah, Shamant.
Okay. Yeah, so what is computer graphics? So computer graphics is a field of science, computer science subfield. So which deals with the manipulation, digital manipulations of the visual content. So some of you might have heard about CG before, like in the movies, they might have used CG. So you might have already heard about CG, but you might not know how it works in backend. So whatever photo you have, so that will be a capture of reality. So in CG, what we'll do is we'll try to produce the same image or some other image digitally, like with the help of computers. So there are many applications of computer graphics. So for example, nowadays major applications of computer graphics are in the digital art. So you might have seen some of the digital arts being sold nowadays in the NFT markets. So digital art is nothing but instead of doing the paintings in using traditional papers and paints, we'll do them digitally, like using the computer. So using some of the softwares, we'll do the paintings or drawings, etc. And other applications are computer aided drawing. So you might have already done the CAD programs and use the CAD drawing applications. So one of the other applications of this CG is computer aided drawings. So designing the mechanical parts and other CAD related things. So another one is the presentation graphics. So presentation graphics is nothing but the like graphs or bar charts or pie charts, whatever will show the statistics. So for all to show all the statistics in the visual content, so we'll use the presentation graphics, which is another application of computer graphics. So in entertainment, we'll use mainly for the VFX. You might have seen some big movies where VFX is used to generate some conditions or some scenes which are impossible to in the real life. So, for example, some bringing up the dinosaurs or using some armor suit which are not possible in the real life. So similarly, in entertainment also comes under video games. So in video games also we'll use the computer graphics extensively. And one more application of computer graphics is education. So education means suppose you are a medical student and you want to learn about the internal organs. So with the help of computer graphics, we'll generate that internal organs using the computers, and which can be used for the studying of that internal organ for all the medical students. So similarly, for other things also we can use the computer graphics to study purpose. And coming back to visualization, so a visualization is nothing but some of the contents. So you might say, you might have seen some abstract art which is being shown while running music. So similarly, some YouTube intros, there you'll see some abstract art. So similarly, those kind of visualization are the parts of computer graphics. So there are many more applications of computer graphics. So that you can go through some of them while searching the Google. Yeah. So, what are the types of computer graphics? So, mainly there are two types of computer graphics or types of computer graphics when it comes to the dimensions. So, mainly it can be divided into 2D graphics or 3D graphics. So, 2D graphics are the ones which deal with the two dimensions only. So, for example, if you take square, then it deals with length and breadth. So similarly, rectangle and circle. I'll show one demo. So here I have a scene. So where there are one square, one rectangle, and two circles are there. When we see it from this view, we can only see the two-dimensional object, and here you can see there is no depth to it. But for will have depth. So depth is nothing but the third dimension when it comes to 3D. So similarly, how we have lines points in 2D, we'll also have lines and points in 3D. So here you can see we have, yeah, so you are seeing the squares and rectangles in 2 dimensions, but now you can see cubes and cuboids and spheres in the 3 dimension. So when it comes to 3D, each 3-dimensional object will be defined by 3 main constituents or units, you can tell. So those are, one is the point. A point is nothing but a any coordinate which defines in the 3D space is called a point. So two points can join together to form a line. So that line will call an as an edge in 3D space. So two or more edges can form one face. Here you can see all these 4 lines are or edges are causing forming one face. So we'll deal mainly with these faces, edges, and vertices. Yeah. Yeah. Coming back to 2 dimensions. So 2D has also many applications. So some of the applications of 2D are photo editing. So you might have heard about the Photoshop. So some of the images, if you feel that is not real, you'll say it is a Photoshop image. So similarly, yeah, that is one of the major applications of 2D graphics. So manipulating the visual content or manipulating the already existing real world image into something else. Or you want to enhance the brightness of the image, or you want to remove some background, etc. So those are all the applications of the computer graphics in 2D. So as I told you before, digital art or painting is another application of 2D graphics. For digital art, will be using some of the applications like Clips. Photoshop can also be used for digital painting, and we can also use some of the open source applications like Krita, GIMP, etc. So those things I'll talk about later. And yeah, so another application of 2D graphics is 2D animations. So you might have seen the cartoons before. So those are all the applications of 2D animation in 2D graphics. Another applications are illustrations. So illustrations are nothing but the, for example, you might have seen some graphics in the posters. You might have seen some graphics which will define something or which will convey some messages. So for those things, we'll use the 2D graphics for the demonstration purposes. There are also many more applications of 2D graphics. For this session, I have included only these applications. So when it comes to 2D graphics, it can be divided mainly into 2 types based on the type of manipulation it's doing. So there are 2 types. Yeah, one is the raster graphics and another one is the vector graphics. So raster graphics, which mainly deals with the pixels. So I'll show one demo. And vector graphics mainly deals with the path. So yeah. So here you can see there are two images. So two circles are there. Both images looks the same. When it comes to, so the left one is the raster image and right one is the vector image. So if you see from this angle or this position, you will not notice any difference. But when I zoom it into the raster image, you can see all the pixels. So this circle is not sharp anymore. So it's kind of jagged, and you can also see the pixels which constitute the circle. But when it comes to vectors, you can't see that pixelization. So no matter how much I zoom, so you can see it's still clear and crisp. So that's one advantage. So since vectors uses mathematical formulas to generate the paths, so it will be scalable to very high scale. But these pixels or rasters cannot be scaled to that much. So when you try to zoom it too much, you'll start to notice the pixelization of the images. So these vectors will be mainly used for logos and other purpose, mainly for logo designs and all. So this vectors will be stored as a SVG, scalable vector graphics mainly. So it will be used in the web pages and all. Yeah. So coming to the tools which are used for 2D graphics. So there are some tools which are paid, and there are some tools which are free, which will do the similar thing. So some of the paid applications are Adobe Photoshop. So you might have heard this application is very famous for photo editing. There is Adobe Illustrator. So Illustrator mainly deals with the vector graphics. So Photoshop deals with the raster graphics. Illustrator deals with the vector graphics. So vector, whatever I showed you in the previous thing. And for painting, digital painting, we have Clip Studio Paint, which is industry standard for painting digital art. And for 2D animation, we have Tool. Similarly, for there are also alternatives if you don't want to use the paid versions, because the subscription charges will be very high. But these will be used in the industry. So if you want to get into the industries, then you might need to learn all these tools. So coming back to the free tools, there is a Photoshop alternative called GIMP. So that GIMP is a free and open source tool which can be better for Photoshop. But GIMP doesn't include that much tools as Photoshop, but will get the job done. So another alternative for Photoshop is the Photopea. So Photopea is a web-based applications where the UI and shortcuts, whichever is used in this Photopea, is similar to Photoshop. So if you want to learn Photoshop but don't want to use the subscription, then you can use the Photopea, and later switching back to Photoshop will be easier if you use Photopea. So Inkscape is the application which is similar to Adobe Illustrator. So Inkscape mainly deals with the vector graphics. So whatever I showed you before is the application which that was the application which deals with the vector graphics. So similarly for Clip Studio Print, alternative is the Krita. So Krita is a digital painting application, which is also an open source application, which can be very similar to Clip Studio Paint. So if you don't want to use Clip Studio Paint, then you can use the Krita application. So there is another application called Blender 2D, which is having the 2D animation tools, which can be used for the 2D animations. And one more open source tool is the Pencil 2D, so which can be another alternative for Toolboom if you want to get into the 2D animation field. Yeah, those were about the 2D applications. Now 3D. So 3D has also some of the very high applications. So main application of 3D are 3D animations. You might have seen some of the 3D animated movies like Frozen and some of the other animated movies. So that is the one application. And another application of 3D graphics is VFX. So here you can see in the movie Bahubali, they used the VFX to generate the background. So all the background will be generated using the computers, and they'll swap out the scenes with the generated graphics. So mainly they'll use the green screen VFX for that. So coming back, yeah, so 3D animation is the another application of this 3D graphics. And one more applications nowadays is getting very popular is the AR and VR. So you might have seen the Oculus Rift headset really generate the three-dimensional world. So in wearing those things, you can just see everything in 3D. So that is one more application of 3D graphics. And one more application of 3D graphics, the video games. So 2D has also games which are in 2D. 3D has also games which are in 3D. Yeah. So coming back to the tools which are used in 3D graphics. So there are some tools which are paid as in 2D. So Maya is the one of the industry standard for 3D graphics. So Maya is mainly a 3D modeling program and animation program, which is used by the top industries for generating the visual content. So you might have seen the movies, animated movies. All those things mainly will use the Maya software to generate those movies. Some of the movies will use their own softwares, but mainly in the industry they'll use Maya. ZBrush is another application which mainly deals with digital sculpting. So I'll talk about digital sculpting a little bit later. And one more thing is a Substance Painter. So digital texturing application. So how we'll paint in 2D. Similarly, 3D objects can also be painted. So for the painting of 3D objects, we'll use Substance Painter. And Houdini is another paid applications which is used in the industry. Houdini is mainly used for the motion graphics and simulations like explosions and all. So Cinema 4D is also one of the top softwares which are used in the industries, and it's also a 3D modeler and animation software. When it comes to free softwares, Blender is a open source free software which deals with mainly the 3D applications. It involves all the workflows which are required for 3D like modeling, sculpting, texturing, UV, rigging, etc. One Since it is open source software, so there are multiple tutorials which you can use or which you can watch online. Many contents which are available for you to study or if you want to get into the 3D world. So similarly, how for Substance Painter alternative is the Quixel Mixer. So Quixel Mixer is a free alternative which can be used for texturing or digital painting of 3D objects. So one more free software is the Dash 3D. So Dash 3D is the applications which is used for the generation of humans. So if you suppose if you're doing an animated movie and you want some characters to be included in the movie. So for that you can use Dash 3D to generate some random human characters, and that you can include in the same and you can use them. So similarly, SketchUp is there. SketchUp mainly deals with the architectural models and also the CAD designs. So it will mainly be like a mathematical modeling. So there will not be much of texturing or shading involved in this SketchUp applications. Yeah. So now I'll show some of the demos. Yeah, so for creating a 3D asset, these are some of the workflows involved. So there will be 3D modeling, sculpting, UV and wrapping, shading and texturing, and rigging and animations. So I'll show some of the demo now. Yeah, so I have a simple scene with the one cube. So here you can see the cube is consisting of the faces and edges. So when it comes to 3D, the workflow will be, suppose you want to model some cup. So modeling is nothing but modifying the geometry or mesh to get our desired shape. So suppose you have a cube now, you want to modify it into a circle or anything. Then you can use some of already present here, and then you can modify those tools. So yeah, now we have turned the cube into a cup, not cup, so just this one. So similarly, yeah, this is called the modeling. So modeling is nothing but manipulation of meshes to get our desired shape. So now I converted the cube into one cup. So similarly, you can create whatever you want based on your creativity and skills. So coming back to the this one. Yeah, so this is about the 3D modeling. Next is the sculpting. Yeah, so sculpting is nothing but digital sculpting. As the name suggests, it is a digital sculpting. So this is one model I've recently created using sculpting. So sculpting is nothing but like how you play with clay. So you'll modify the clay and make it to something like a pot or something. Similarly, here we'll use the digital clay to sculpt something. So suppose here I want to add another horn or another one extension for this. So just use this software and then we have another extension. And if you want to add some other tail to this, you can modify that. So similarly, how you will modify the clay in real life. So digitally, we can modify the this one meshes to get our desired shape. So this is one more applications of the this is one more workflow for the 3D asset creation. So coming back to UV unwrapping. So I'll go back to the cube one. Yeah. So UV unwrapping is nothing but we have to add some texture to our 3D object, but we can't add the texture directly like this. So what we have to do is we have to cut that object, or we have to make sure that the object can be laid out flat. So what we have here is this is called the UV for this object. So here you can see there are several faces. So if I select some of the faces, it will show here as this faces in UV space. So why we need to do this is we have to lay all the things flat so that the texture can be used, because all the texture will be in 2D. So there is no 3D texture as of now. So we have to lay out this three-dimensional object into 2D space. So for that we'll use UV unwrapping. So similarly, imagine how there is a paper object. So paper cube is there. So you have to cut that object so that that can be laid out flat. So imagine like that. So that's about the UV unwrapping. Coming back to texturing part or shading part. So now you are seeing some cube, but you might add the shading. So now we have converted the normal cube into one cube block with grass and mud and all. So if I zoom, you can see all the texture. So texturing is nothing but adding some shading and variation to the 3D model so that it can become a real life model. So texturing involves some of the softwares like Substance Painter, and also you can use a free alternative called the Pixel Mixer, which I mentioned before. So there are also some of the procedural stuff. So you can generate procedural shading for these materials, which you can learn when you learn the 3D applications. You will get to know that. Yeah. So coming back to 3D rigging. So rigging is nothing but yeah. Let me show that one. So here I have one model downloaded from the internet. So here we have one character of baby, lion baby. So here you can see the mesh is generated. So this is the whole model is called mesh. So whatever cube you are seeing, so here is a model of the baby character. So this was modeled and textured. So see now in the textured view, you can see all the texture being applied and also the character is present. Now suppose you want to animate this object or animate this character. So for that, what we require is the rigging. So rigging is nothing but how humans have bones. So similarly for this mesh also we will provide the bones. So this is already having mesh. So yeah, so these are the digital bones which we'll use. So internally you can see there are bones which are added to this. So I'll show why these bones are used. So with the help of these bones, we can animate this character. So I'll show how. So here you can see if you want to tilt the head. So here I can tilt the head. So suppose if you want to show, change the eye position, change the legs position, change the hands position. So for this applications, we'll use rigging. Without rigging, this model will not deform as expected, and it will be a very difficult task to animate the objects. So if you are doing some 3D animations, and if you want to learn about 3D animations, then you have to learn about rigging also. But if you are just doing some 3D asset which doesn't involve any animation, then you can neglect this rigging part. So next is the animation. So animation is nothing but now just I have moved the things. So similarly, animation is nothing but adding the keyframes so that the content or the character will start to move. So suppose yeah, here I can add a keyframe. And so here you can see I started the animation, and so it's waving its hands. So the animation is a very complicated process than this. So it involves all the bones or all the positioned properly. Just to give you a demo, so here you can see it's kind of waving. So this is called the animation. So suppose if you want to do the walking of this baby, so similar thing you can do for this legs, and then record the keyframes and then do the animation for the walking. So yeah, next I'll tell you about one of the other projects I've done. Yeah, so here you can see one object is there. So just a cube. So this cube generated using 3D model I've done for this cube, and then I've UV unwrapped it. So here you can see the model is UV unwrapped. So all the faces of these models are laid on flat in the 2D space, and texturing also I've done. So with all those things, this object can be as realistic as possible. So after creation of this object, you can import that object into any of the applications. Suppose if you're doing some animation movie, that then you can put it as a prop over there. Or suppose if you are doing some game design, and you want to add that object into your game, so that also you can do. So here I have a sample game from Unity. So whatever object I've generated, I've added it here. So I'll just bring that object here, position that, and when I click on play, so it will take some time to load. Yeah, so that object, whatever you have created, it's inside the game now. So similarly, all these assets are created in the same similar workflow. So this character, whatever you are seeing now, and also the trees, rocks, and this spaceship, all those things will be generated in a similar way, whatever I showed you in the workflow. So using your creativity, you can create your own asset for games or movies. So it will not be like that. You have to create your own movie for thing. You can just create an object and use, or you can add them in the web so that others can use that, or you can use the others which are already created objects and use them for your own projects. So for 3D applications, there are one website is there. So this is a Sketchfab website. So mainly how we will search for images in Google, you can search for 3D models in Sketchfab. So one cool thing about Sketchfab is you can view the models directly in 3D in your own browser. You don't require any extra software for this. So if you want to get some inspiration, then you can check out this website. So here you can see some sci-fi floating island is there. So similarly, if you don't like some this one, you can check out the other creations. So all these objects are generated in 3 dimensions, and also they are animated. So you can see here the objects are moving, the birds are flying. So similarly, you can, for the inspiration, you can check out this website. So you don't like any other stuff, but you are into cars or bikes, so you can check for this also. You can search for cars in this website and check out the model 3. Suppose you are buying some car, and if you want to check them out in all the possible dimensions, then you can, if you are lucky, you might find the model you are looking for. Otherwise, you might not find. But yeah, so this is one of the major applications. So you can see here internal parts of the car, leave them in 3D. So, and also you can see some of the animals. So suppose if you want to see the animals in person, how they look, so you can use this software to not only see, you can also create. If you develop the skill sets, you can also create these kind of animals or any of the sci-fi stuffs, and also cars and all these can be created in the software which I showed you before. So yeah, so this software whichever I showed for 3D design, this is the Blender. So Blender is the open source software. So be downloaded easily from builder.blender.org. So there is one website. Maybe I'll mention that website in this one. So this is an open source software, so you don't need to have to pay anything for this software. So you can use that software, create anything you want, and even sell those 3D models if you want. So these will be completely free of charge. There is no hidden fees or anything for this. So this software is nothing but the Inkscape, which I mentioned before. So this mainly deals with the vector graphics. This is the Unity 3D engine. So this is mainly used for the game development. So if you want to get into game development, then you might need to use either this one, or there is another software called Unreal Engine. So both can be used for game development. So as you've seen before, none of this CG part will involve programming. So programming is not involved in this, but for game development, you might need to learn about programming. So that's depend on your choice. So if you're afraid of programming and all, then you can learn about just the 3D stuffs. Yeah, so that's it. So yeah, thank you. If you have any doubts, you can ask.
Hello,
Yes.
am I audible? Huh.
Yes.
Uh, Thank you, Shaman. It was actually very wonderful session.
Yeah,
We
thank you.
really thank you for your knowledge and time. And we
Yes.
also formally thank our principal, Dr. Manjunath, and also Dean Infrastructure, Dr. M. Rajat Hegde, our HOD, Dr. Purnima KM, for their constant motivation. We also thank NES management for the support. We extend our gratitude to all teaching and non-teaching faculty of CSE. Last but not least, I thank all the students participated. Thank you all. Students, I request you to mark the attendance in the chat window, and also we will be giving you the feedback link. So whoever fill the feedback link, you will be getting the e-certificate for participating in the webinar. Okay, students, after marking the attendance, you just leave the meeting. If you have any doubts, you can ask Shamant. Do you have any doubts? Shamant, ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಆರಾಮಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ನೀವು?
ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗದಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಹೌದು.
ಓಕೆ, ಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಕಡೆ ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರು.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಬೇರೆ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಸೊ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದೇ ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
Sushma madam was also there with us when you were delivering this webinar. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ನೀವು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗೈಡ್ ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ?
ಹೌದು.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ರಜಾ ಅಲ್ಲ?
ಇವತ್ತು ನಾಳೆ ರಜಾ.
ಓಕೆ, ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು ನೀನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್.
ಅದು ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಯ್ತು ನಾವು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಕನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು.
ಅದೇ.
ಓಕೆ ಶಮಂತ್, ವಿಲ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಅಗೈನ್.
ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. Students, I'll be stopping the recording. I'll be ending the meeting now. If you haven't entered your attendance, make it fast.